Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We've got the nightcap of a doubleheader in the Purple Gold Classic, hosted by the LSU Tigers. Tonight, in the final game of day one of this tournament, it will be the Drake Bulldogs meeting the LSU Tigers in softball for the very first time. Come on inside beautiful Tiger Park on this cold, windy night in Baton Rouge with Yvette Girard, the Hall of Fame coach. I'm Lynn Rollins. LSU looking to win for the second time today. It beat Stephen F. Austin in a preceding game, but it did not come easy, Yvette, because Sidney Hebert in the first inning gave Stephen F. Austin a 3-0 lead.
But Morgan Cummins comes back in the second inning with a run-scoring RBI double. And then she follows it up in the fourth inning with another double for an RBI. Good day for Morgan Cummins.
And then Bailey Brandon comes through as well with a double in that inning. That helped LSU get closer, but this was the swing that gave LSU its first lead of the game, the first home run of the season by Taylor Pleasance.
And then the Stephen F. Austin pitchers just could not find the strike zone. 5 runs scored in the 6th inning for the Tigers.
Allie Kilponen worked 3 innings of relief to pick up her 5th victory of the year against only one setback. Kilponen in the 7th got it done. This is the final out of that game, and LSU wins it over Stephen F. Austin by a 10-4 score. So it's Drake and LSU coming up right now, and we are just about set for action here in Tiger Park. Rich Calvert has been in that dugout a long time. He's in his 20th season. He's won 531 games for this private school. Drake out of Des Moines, Iowa, led the Bulldogs to back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances in 2018 and 2019. And nobody has won more games at Drake than Rich Calvert.
Rich Calvert, good guy. I know him. He was an assistant at Iowa when the Tigers played Iowa in the College World Series.
Raylan Chafin will get the start in the circle for the LSU Tigers. She's a right-hander. She's had 1 start this year, no record, an ERA of near 5. She pitched well in that earlier start through the first 3 or 4 innings, but then got into a little difficulty as the game got into the latter innings.
After Kilponen, she's the next hardest thrower. As you see, Betterina said she was special in the fall. She's a competitor. The team loves playing behind her. Her go-to pitch is rise. She'll throw a curveball 63 to 67 miles an hour, played on the USA junior team.
And she struck out 8 in 5 2/3 innings in that first start. There's the Bulldogs' batting order. This is a team that obviously has had to deal with weather in the run-up to this season and hasn't been outdoors all that much.
They probably think it's warm here tonight.
Probably so. Purdue posted a 3-0 victory over Drake earlier today, but the runs all came in the 6th inning. It was a scoreless game through 5. Drake picked up 5 base hits in that game, but struck out 9 times. And we are set to go. Drake in white, LSU in purple. Thank you for joining us. With 5-time College World Series coach Yvette Girard, I'm Lynn Rollins. Not much has changed with the weather. The wind is still blowing out. It's cold. And you've got to stay moving to stay warm here in Baton Rouge. About a 30-degree difference right now in the temperature from yesterday to today. Chafin finds the strike zone with the first pitch, and we are underway.
You see that slow windup, and then, boom, the ball just gets there.
Libby Ryan was 0 for 4 in the earlier game against Purdue. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chafin is like one of those old-fashioned pitching machines that had that slow arm. You know, it would creak back and then creak to the apex and then wham!
What is it called, a hack attack? I'm not quite sure, but I know what you're talking about. Wait, and then on top of you.
2 balls and a strike. Libby Ryan, the shortstop. She's a senior.
Very open stance there. And doesn't look like she gets closed. All the way closed.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Macy Johnson will follow.
How open that stance is.
This will make the stands on the right side out of play.
Souvenir. Everybody's so cold they're not even going to get the ball.
Defensively, it's Newland and Briggs and Rudity. Coffey and Clark on the infield. Pleasance and Peterson, the middle infielders. Chafin and Calland form the battery. 2-2 pitch. High and away. Ryan thought about ripping, but laid off.
6-7 mile an hour rise ball from the freshman.
The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4.
And he yanked that curveball out of the zone.
In the first game today against the Lady Jacks, LSU had to constantly work defensively with early runners on. Stephen F. Austin in every inning but one put the leadoff batter aboard, and the Tigers flirted with danger a bunch in game 1.
They were lucky in a lot of instances that those walks did not come back to truly haunt them.
Macy Johnson at the plate. She was 1 for 4 in the first game against Purdue. In that game, Drake was shut out on 5 hits. Purdue scored 3 runs in the 6th and picked up that victory.
Let's see if Johnson will either drag or lay down a bunt here.
More pitches have been thrown out of the strike zone than in it so far. Chafin rocks and fires. That one's pulled down to the first baseman, Clark. She hurries to the bag from the backhanded pickup and makes the out at first.
Good decision. She really thought about going to second and trying to get that lead runner, but I think she'd have gotten herself in trouble there. Got the sure out. But good to look to second first. So many players don't, especially when you get the ball that fast.
So 1 gone on the ground out to the right side, and here is Emily Baltman. Baltman against Purdue was 1 hit in 3 at-bats. She also walked and struck out. Ball 1. Drake is a school of about 5,000. It's a private school in Des Moines, Iowa.
Drake relays. That's been going on forever, hasn't it?
A long, long time. A strike on the outside edge. Drake was founded in 1881. Chafin checks that wristband and brings it. Fly ball left side. Pleasance drifts over into foul ground and makes the catch. Pleasance can be deceiving in the field because she makes up a lot of ground with those long strides, and for a while it looks like she's not in the picture, and all of a sudden she appears and uses that length.
You're right.
And makes a lot of plays that look like are going to fall for base hits.
There's no short, choppy steps for sure. It's just long strides, like a gazelle.
Here's Lara. Alexia Lara, a senior catcher. There are 3 seniors in this lineup, Ryan and Johnson and now Lara. Two outs, a runner at second base. Popped up right side. There may be a play for Clark. There is. She's got it, and the side is retired. So Chafin, after falling behind and missing the strike zone, rallies to get the next 3. We go to the bottom of the first. Drake nothing. LSU coming to the plate. Thanks for joining us here at Tiger Park on a cold, windy night in Baton Rouge. This is the final action of day 1 of the Purple and Gold Classic hosted by the LSU Tigers. Drake failed to score in the first. Tigers will take their cuts against Mackenzie Hupke.
What we think we'll see is a drop ball and a curve ball, and you see she's thrown 1 game so far, completed the game. 0-1. 10 Ks with 10 balls. Base on balls.
That's a lot of base runners, but a lot of strikeouts. In 7
feast or famine
innings of work, yeah. Feast and famine.
Yeah.
The Tigers send Coffey, Briggs, and Pleasance, Clarkson, Sari, and Newland, Rudity, Calland, and Peterson to the plate.
Let's just say the strike zone has not been particularly large tonight.
That goes back to the first game.
Right. Tight.
Coffey had 3 base hits in the first game. She's got 17 on the season now to lead LSU, and she sits safely in 10 consecutive games.
She made her presence felt last year at practice. Beth Tureen had said they could never get her out.
That batting average went from 389 to 415 as a result of 3 hits in the first game.
She's an everyday starter now.
She was looked at more as a second baseman a year ago. She's moved over to third this season and grounds it to the second baseman Lehman over to Baltman for the out.
That's because she had Amanda Doyle over there at third base, so she had to wait her turn to play that position.
Here's Sierra Briggs. Briggs reached on a walk late in the game to keep her streak alive of appearing on base in every game this year. Spinner bait at the plate. Briggs has a lot of rituals at the plate. She'll draw something in the ground, will always step out, works that glove hand on the bat, pumps that left elbow a couple of times, and she's out and looks at that one for 2-0.
That's definitely her routine. Good to have routines. Calms you down.
LSU will play twice tomorrow and twice on Sunday. 2-1 now to Briggs. Coffey has bounced out to Lehman at second base. Taylor Pleasance is on deck. Hupke rocks and fires.
Tries to throw that drop ball on the outside corner. Good pitch to a lefty if you can land that.
I like these Drake uniforms. They are very clean, bright white.
Kind of remind you of the Dodgers or something.
Very traditional looking, classy uniform.
Very clean.
There's a chop to the right side. It eats up the second baseman. Lehman moved to her left and got in front of it, but that ball took a weird bounce. She was unable to react, and we'll see how that's ruled.
Like you said, I wonder how many times Drake has actually been on the dirt. Got to come get that other hop, that hop in between.
That's going to be ruled an infield hit. Briggs has reached base safely now in every game. She took the suspense out of it in this game. It was her last at bat, in which she walked in the previous game to keep that streak alive, and she reaches on an infield hit
and so
here
aggressive,
in the first game.
So aggressive with her base running. Rounds that back hard and makes that right fielder think she's going to second. Love it. She plays the game all out.
Taylor Pleasance tripled and homered in the first game today. Let's see if that gets her started from a serious slump to open the season.
Taylor Pleasance looked like Taylor Pleasance in that first game.
Here's the triple off the wall in the first inning, and here's the fifth inning home run, and this gave LSU its first lead.
And no question it was a mistake, but you have to hit the mistakes.
She lines it on a very thin margin out to center field. It's caught there by Johnson. Well hit, but right at the center fielder, who had to take a couple of steps to her right.
Once again, she hit the ball well, something she hadn't been doing.
Defensively, Taylor and Johnson and Beitzinger in the outfield. Rice and Voltman on the corners. Ryan and Lehman are the middle infielders. Hupke and Laura form the battery. There's a strike to Georgia Clark. Clark in the first game was 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a line out. The runner on the move. And that is stolen base number 4 for Sierra Briggs. Briggs has not been caught this year.
Good pitch to steal on, ball kind of dropping.
Laura had to throw from her knees.
Had to catch that ball in the dirt.
She did not get a lot of torque on the throw because of the starting position. That's a foul ball. Georgia Clark hitting .250. She's driven in 8 with 3 early season home runs. Those all came in the first weekend. Clark bangs that one to the second baseman. Good play there, and that retires the side. Lehman had to run to get it, but turned it over for the out. And LSU leaves a runner at second base as we watch Lehman get it done here for the third out. This is not an easy ball to handle. She makes the pickup on the backhanded side, plants and throws to first, and we move on. We are scoreless. Drake and LSU. One inning is in the books in the final action of the night here in day 1 of the Purple Gold Classic at LSU. Drake and LSU are scoreless. Raylan Chafin, the young right-hander in the circle for the Tigers.
Louisiana native.
Tell me what you know about her. Chafin.
I know that she's as I said, she's a competitor. She's like all business in the circle. I've come to a few practices when we're in the bullpen, and she doesn't crack very many smiles, even there.
In that first start, she was very poised and pitched very well for 3 or 4 innings, and then things got away a little bit.
Well, you have to learn how to pitch on this level, and for freshmen, that's a learning curve sometimes.
And with the level of competition, you get into that 3rd, 4th, 5th inning, you got to find something else, don't you?
They've seen you already. You can't just keep throwing the same stuff. It's not high school or summer ball anymore where 7, 8, and 9 are automatic outs.
One ball, 2 strikes on Taylor. An off-speed breaking pitch fools Delaney Taylor.
She's got some tools to get better with. You see a little smile there. Good looking changeup. Stays back on that ball, so she disguises it. Throws her guts out. Makes the hitter think that it's going to be something hard coming in. You know, if you grunt on one pitch, you kind of got to grunt on them all. So you don't give them away. And sometimes kids don't even know they're doing that.
1 ball, 1 strike to Paige Bedsworth.
Look at her when she throws that ball in the glove. She's all business.
Bedsworth actually was recruited as a pitcher, but she has not been in the circle yet this season.
She must swing a pretty good bat.
She did not play, actually was a pinch hitter, and was 0 for 1 in the loss to Purdue earlier today. Bedsworth is making her first start this season here against LSU. Georgia Clark is calling for it. She drifts back into foul ground and makes the play. So 5 consecutive batters have been sent back to the dugout by Chafin after she walked Ryan to open the game. And here's Michaela Rice.
And all of these LSU pitchers, they work fast.
Rice is as lean as a lance. She's a right-handed batter.
She's as lean as a what?
A lance.
I don't get it. What's a lance?
A spear.
Oh. A lance.
That's right down the middle.
They didn't teach me that in Broussard.
Let me spell it out for you.
I know how to spell it.
How's that?
As in Lancelot.
Yeah. There you go.
I get it now.
I'm blaming it on the diction. That's inside. Rice was pretty much a full-time starter last year. She had 45 starts, most of them coming in left field. She's at third base tonight. She had 1 homer and hit .225 a year ago. Chafin just overpowered her with that pitch. 3 up, 3 down, including a couple of strikeouts. So Chafin rips one home. A late swing by Rice, and we move on to the bottom of the second inning. We are scoreless in Baton Rouge. LSU bats in the bottom of the second. This is a scoreless game and the final softball game of day 1 of the Purple Gold Classic here at LSU in Baton Rouge. There's Beth Torina in her 11th season as the LSU head coach. She picked up win number 423 in the first game today on the LSU sidelines. 15 seasons overall with 551 victories. And of course, very early in her career, 4 trips to the College World Series.
And you see her intently studying Hupke to see if she can gain any advantage for her Tiger hitters. Rough weekend for the Tigers last week. Of just about everything that could go wrong happened from the very start of the trip.
Sunseri with a dozen runs batted in. She's had 4 homers. Most of that power coming in the first weekend of the season a couple of weeks ago. Here we go. 1-2 strikes. Sunseri looks at one out of the zone. It's 2-2. Here's a weekend recap. Last weekend at the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, Briggs had 5 hits. That led the way. Rudity had 4 base hits and 6 driven in. That was a team high. Coffey had a very good weekend with 8 base hits. Kilponen won a couple of games, working 14+ innings.
And showed a gutty effort because she took a line drive to her glove side shoulder that would have knocked a lot of people out of the game.
In between those highlights, though, the Tigers had a couple of games in which they led and couldn't hold it. Notre Dame, one of those.
Trying to find themselves early in the season.
That's one of the great things, I believe, about college softball at a high level, because good teams are not afraid to schedule lots of other good teams early in the part of the season before they even start their own conference.
That's softball. I mean, they got an attitude of bring it on before conference even starts.
It's great for the fans, too, because in effect, Yvette, and this is not an overstatement, in effect, the fans in Florida last weekend saw College World Series caliber competition.
No question. It's quickly becoming a must-see event if you're a really softball aficionado. Like, you must be one tonight if you would sit in the stands watching these games. Either that or your family. Because it's cold.
Sunseri coaxes a walk to open the inning. It's the first walk by Hupke, and it brings on Newland, who hit the ball hard a couple of times in the first game with nothing to show for it. Not only is it cold and very breezy, but there's a 30 to 35 degree difference between now in Baton Rouge and 24 hours ago in Baton Rouge.
I got a great story about this assistant pitching coach for Drake, Tina D'Angelo. She was a pitcher that still holds some records at Drake. Her husband played football there. He was a quarterback. She's got 5 kids, but her son, who's on this Drake team, is named Drake, and he's a softball manager.
That's keeping it in the family, isn't it?
That's loyalty to
Good
Drake.
stuff. We've got a pinch runner at first.
She loves her alma mater.
Pinch runner at first base, batting for the Tigers, number 44.
Giglio, the pinch runner. She saw duty in the first game as a pinch runner. Newland at the plate. Ball 1 wide.
Newland wears number 44 because it's a family number. Her mother actually played softball. This on the eve, the year of 50 years of Title IX.
Allie Newland lined out and bounced out and walked twice and scored in the first game.
Mother played, brother plays. They all wore 44.
What was your favorite number?
Either 9.
Any particular reason?
Well, I played third base.
She lofts it to right. It's down for a base hit. Everybody moves 60 feet, and the Tigers have runners at second and first as Sunseri stops at second on Newland's first base hit of the day.
Good job by Newland turning on that pitch. She's hit some balls harder than that tonight. But yet that one drops in for a base hit.
And let me correct myself, that's Giglio at second, as she was the pinch runner for Sunseri. So she moves up into scoring position for Mackenzie Rudity. Strike one from Mackenzie Hupke. A runner at second, a runner at first. A walk to Sinceri. Giglio pinch running. Newland drops a base hit into right. Rudity gets the bunt down. There's only one play. The second baseman is covering, and the out is made 1-4. But the sacrifice is successful from Rudity, who scored 3 runs in the first game without reaching on a base hit. A couple of times she got aboard on an error and also walked.
Rudity doing the job that she's called upon to do.
So here's Kate Calland. We are seeing her for the first time today.
Catcher Kate, that's her nickname.
Calland out of the Houston area.
Wants to be a doctor.
LSU with runners at third and second with 1 out.
Ooh, we had squeeze going on.
Callan can't come up with it, and Giglio recognized that this was not going to be a good thing by proceeding to the plate. She turned around and crab walked back to third.
Yep, all you little girls watching, and don't put it down. You got to get back. Don't just keep coming. Don't just keep coming. Know your role.
A pop up to shallow right, and a nice catch by the second baseman Lehman with her back to the infield.
Basket catch.
O'Calland pops it up to the second baseman. There are now 2 outs. And Sydney Peterson, who played without batting in the first game, is in the lineup as a hitter at the bottom of the order in the second game.
She hadn't gotten very many chances. She's been primarily used for defensive purposes.
LSU was 4 for 14 in the first game today. With runners in scoring position, the Tigers are 0 for 2 tonight. Two and 0. Laura had to stretch to her right to save that pitch.
Yeah, Hupke was coming off the mound to go cover home, but as you said, Laura saved it.
That's elevated. It's 3-0. First base is vacant. Coffey is on deck. She's been LSU's best hitter this year.
Yeah, if you're Drake, you really want to pitch to Peterson.
There's a strike. 3-1, 2 outs, runners at second and third. Giglio at third base. Newland on second. And here it comes to the freshman infielder. Off the mark, ball 4. The bases are loaded for Danica Coffey.
We have certainly seen a ton of walks today in both games.
That's the second walk of the inning. And with 2 outs and a teammate on every base, it's Danica Coffey coming to the plate. Coffey grounded out to second last inning. Before this occasion, Coffey had not had an opportunity with the bases loaded this year. This is the first time she has come to the plate with a Tiger on every base. That's wide. And right now the plate is jumping around a bit on Hupke. Hupke finds the strike zone, and she needed it. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. Giglio at third. Newland at second base. Peterson on first. That bangs off the second baseman's chest. Here's the throw to the plate. 2 Tigers score.
That was a hard hit ball that just ate her up.
So Giglio scored from third. Newland scored from second. Peterson stopped at second. And Coffey has a hard hit infield single to drive in a pair. Giglio crossing the plate for the first Tiger run. And right behind her, Allie Newland.
Thought Lehman had kept it in front of her, and she might have been able to get a play on, but bounced away from her.
And a close play at third, but a bit of a gamble for Peterson to move up. So Coffey now has hit safely in 11 straight games.
No question, she's a Tigers' best hitter. Beth Torina's over there, I think, saying,
You think
what are you
Peterson
doing?
might have left on her own?
I think she did, kind of from the look of Torina, but I don't know that for sure. Just got that feeling.
Briggs had an infield hit last time. Let's see what
Sorta-
spinnerbait can do here.
Sort of like the conversation, good thing you're safe, darling.
There's a strike on the outside edge. LSU has taken a 2-0 lead on a walk, a base hit by Newland, and then with 2 outs, a walk to Peterson, and a 2 RBI infield single by Coffey. Giglio scoring, Newland scoring. Tigers have a chance for more here. Runner from first takes second uncontested. And now a base hit would plate a pair of Tigers in most occasions. Briggs has a hitter's count. That's foul at first. This playing surface is in excellent shape. Grass is lush and green.
Terrific grounds crew here. Really all at the Tiger facilities.
3-2 pitch is spoiled. There's always something uplifting about the early part of the season because everybody's lawn is still dormant and brown. And you come to the ballpark, whether it's softball or baseball, on the natural surface, and you see that emerald green. And there's just something about it that puts you in a good mood.
Absolutely. I wish it was striped, checkerboard. I love that look. You used to get so artistic, you'd kind of try and guess what the pattern would be when you'd come out to the park.
One of the hallmarks of center field is that huge tiger eye painted on the grass out there. There you see it.
Whole face now. It used to be the eye, now it's the whole head of the tiger.
The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off of the batter. That's going to be an opportunity to come back for Briggs.
Yeah, it's going to hurt. On a night like tonight, yikes.
That got her on the lead foot. Don't laugh, Coach. It still hurts.
I think Beth asked her if she wanted some of her toes. Said, I've got plenty to give.
Oh, yikes. That's above the ankle.
Yep.
What you're saying, there ain't nothing soft about softball.
No, and I'm going to tell you, that bruise is going to be ugly.
Once again, the payoff pitch. Just off the plate. That was a very courageous take.
He's still hurting. You know, Lynn, there was an actual study when we switched to the yellow ball and the core was just so much more dynamic. They wanted to know about bruises and how long it would take to recuperate and everything else, because we saw different things after that ball came into play.
Taylor Pleasance gets a chance with the bases loaded. Right in the upper part of the zone.
Used to play with that old white mush ball.
Pleasance lined out in the first inning. She hit it hard to center field. She had a triple and a home run in the first game. The 1-1 pitch to the LSU shortstop. Taylor Pleasance rips this one. And that gave LSU a 5-4 lead in the first game against Stephen F. Austin. That was the first lead of the game for the Tigers. The 2-1. Just away from the strike zone. Humpke is missing, but by just a fraction of an inch.
Just seems like it's been in a kind of a tight zone all day long, too. No question about that one, though.
But it is ball 4.
This inning has lasted a long time.
And now Georgia Clark comes to the plate. She is the 9th Tiger to hit in this inning.
Tiger's about to turn the lineup over.
3 walks in the inning and 2 base hits. And 3 runs home. Clark is first pitch swinging. And Humpke was able to get that ball in close to the hands. Georgia Clark is making her first at bat with the bases loaded this year.
This is where the Tigers just need to erupt, which they really haven't been doing.
Clark hits it deep, and that is on the warning track in center field. 1 Tiger scores, 2 Tigers score, a 3rd Bengal crosses the plate, and Georgia Clark has cleaned the bases with a 3-run double over the head of the center fielder as it bounced on the dirt on the warning track in straightaway center.
And that's what this offense has been lacking, been waiting for. I think we might have a pitching change here.
Clark with her 9th, 10th, and 11th RBI of the season. As Peterson and Coffey, Briggs, and Pleasance all scoring. And Georgia Clark has ripped it. And the Tigers get 6 in the 2nd against Drake. We anticipate a change in the circle, and we are going to get one. So we will be back as Drake goes to the bullpen. Emma Richards has come out to the circle for Drake. She will be the next pitcher, and the Tigers have erupted for 6 in the 2nd. There has been a pitching change here in the 2nd inning as LSU has erupted for 6. The big base blow was a 2-run, make it a 3-run double Off the warning track in center field by Georgia Clark. And now Emma Richards is the pitcher, a sophomore out of Clive, Iowa.
Drop, curve, change ball, change up is what we should see from Emma Richards.
Jordan Perkins is going to bat here for the Tigers. So Perkins will hit for Sunseri in this position.
Talk about a feast or famine girl. This one right here. She loves to hit home runs when she comes in a pinch hitter situation.
A strong right-handed batter. Upkeep allowed 4 hits, and she got into trouble with control. She walked 4 in this inning. The 1-1 pitch to Jordan Perkins. Off the mark, low and away. Richards was in the circle 29 times last year, 21 of those in relief, 8 starts. And the throw is way up and out. First base is unoccupied. Perkins probably will have the green light here.
Second game in a row that we see the opponents for the Tigers just having so much trouble throwing strikes.
Newland is on deck. 2 outs, 6 runs home. The 3-1. Off the plate. That's the 5th walk of the inning.
Wish we'd have timed this inning. We have any idea how long this has gone on so far?
We'll figure it out. Newland had a base hit and scored in the inning. It's the second time she's batted. And a loose ball closes play momentarily. Six runs, 4 hits for the Tigers. 3 of those hits in this inning. A single by Coffey. A single by Newland. And a 3-run double by Clark.
Atta girl, starting off with a strike.
Rudity is on deck. That changeup floated in there, but out of the strike zone.
And that flip change, very difficult to throw.
That's a mitt popper, but high and tight. Newland trying to get some more for the Tigers. Three balls and a strike, and the control problems continue for Drake. There's a liner to right field down for a base hit. And another Tiger scores, and runners finish the play on the corners as Allie Newland delivers an RBI single.
Tigers are really starting to capitalize now on walks and errors, and good teams jump on mistakes.
The knock to right scores Georgia Clark, and LSU has runners on first and third.
No wonder Clark. I saw her go back and touch home plate because she missed it the first time.
Here's the youngster, Mackenzie Rudity.
And that's why when you're on defense, if you have nothing else to do, just pay attention to see if runners are touching the bags.
The ground ball to the first baseman ends the inning, but the Tigers erupt for 7. The big blow in the inning. Georgia Clark rips one over the head of the center fielder with the bases loaded. 3 Bengals cross the plate, and the Tigers, after 2, lead 7-0. On your screen right now, the Missouri Valley preseason coaches poll. There are 10 teams in the league. Drake was preseason picked to finish 4th behind Northern Iowa, Southern Illinois, and Missouri State. Drake has not scored a run yet on the first day of this tournament. Jordan Perkins has gone to third base for LSU. So she has replaced Danica Coffey.
Jordan Perkins is just going to go on after this. She could come back for another year, but she's going to go on with her life and go into nursing school.
That is a very difficult major for any varsity athlete.
You can't hardly do it because you've got to spend so many hours in the hospital or in clinical.
Aubrey Beitzinger is at the plate. The youngster Raylene Chafin has retired 6 in a row since she walked Libby Ryan to open the game. Beitzinger did not play in the 3-0 Purdue victory over Drake earlier today. In conference play last year, Beitzinger hit a solid .273. She's an angular left-handed batter. Yvette Chafin now has struck out 10 in 7 2/3 innings of total work over the course of 2 appearances.
Throws hard enough to get some Ks, and it's got weapons to throw hitters off balance.
The sample size is limited, but Chafin has the best strikeout to innings pitched ratio of any LSU pitcher so far.
I know Beth Tureen is very excited about her. I've heard she likes to do a lot of catfishing too.
Who doesn't?
Good eating fish.
Nobody asked me, but if you would, I would tell you that I believe catfish is the tastiest and most versatile fish going.
Not farm raised, though.
No, but coubillon, fried, broiled, baked.
Sounding like you know who on Forrest Gump.
Beitzinger aboard. Lehman takes a strike at the bottom of the order. So 2 base runners for Drake, and they've come on leadoff walks in the first and third. That's something that you just can't get away with very often when SEC play starts.
No.
LSU with a 7-spot eruption in the second. We play in the top of the third. You know, in the first game, we talked about all of the freshman students at Stephen F. Austin get a memento of a lumber, an axe handle when they enter school, Drake does something a little more valuable. 100% of the first-year full-time students get a scholarship.
Say that again?
All of the first-year students at Drake receive a scholarship.
Wow. And what was the enrollment?
About 5,000.
5,000.
Lehman goes down on
Very
strikes.
cool.
That's number 3 for Chafin. And it's the first out of the inning as we look at the pitch again.
I've told you about going to recruit the summer high school championship tournament in Iowa, haven't I?
I
Very
am all
cool.
ears.
Very cool. In the middle of cornfields,
Mm-hmm.
little town. Seems like the whole town shows up with their lawn chairs, and everybody's just out there supporting the girls.
That is Americana at its finest.
About to say.
I believe that's going to be a pass ball.
Because they play their high school baseball and softball state championships in the summer.
Well, they don't get started in February like happens in Louisiana.
No, because it's cold. Ooh, look at that thing. We had to touch it. It's going to go back into fair territory.
It spun left, it spun right, it spun left, and then it stayed right in foul ground.
All you little girls out there, touch it as fast as you can in foul territory.
Libby Ryan at the plate. She walked to open the game. She was selected second team all-conference a year ago. And a couple of years in a row, actually. Do you remember the first host of The Tonight Show? The very first one.
Jack Parr?
Close. Steve Allen. You remember Steve Allen?
Could have given me Betty White or somebody like that a hint. Yeah, I remember Steve Allen. Of course, you know, I wasn't born.
He's a Drake alumnus.
He is. He was.
So was the 2007 Masters champion
Don't
and
know.
the 2015 U.S. Open champion, Zach Johnson. So was Harley Wilhelm, and this is before your time.
Harley Wilhelm. I know that name. Why do I know that name?
I don't know, because he's a scientist in the Manhattan Project, which discovered the atomic bomb.
That's probably why.
There's a little looper into left center for a base hit. Beitzinger stops at third with a 7-0 deficit. That's the first hit of the game by Libby Ryan, coming for Drake.
So, you know what the tuition to go to Drake is?
I do not.
Well, in 2020, look, we got listeners giving us all these tidbits. $44,366.
Annually?
Yeah, I would think so. 2020, so no telling what it is now. They better get a scholarship of some type. Must be a fantastic education.
Was that a Drake alum that provided that information?
No,
Okay.
that was somebody from down in Thibodaux.
That's a long way from Des Moines. Macy Johnson grounded out to first last time. She's got an RBI opportunity. One out, runners on the corners. Drake trying to fight back and get on the scoreboard for the first time in this tournament. After being defeated 3-0 by Purdue. All three of those runs by Purdue came in the 6th inning. It was scoreless through 5 as both pitchers were throwing very well.
Well played ball game, you're right. And then in the 6th inning, all the fireworks happened.
Nicole Timmons was the starter for Drake in that first game.
Good looking changeup from Chafin.
Emily Valtman is on deck.
It's a learning curve for Chafin. So Drake has turned the lineup over.
Johnson reaches out to spoil it. You know, you mentioned the Drake relays, and you said they're about 100 years old. They're actually close to 112 years old. It started. Just somebody just made a very cold comment from our production team.
Trying to say that Lynn was the same age.
Well, I covered the first one in 1910, and it was in a blizzard.
It probably was, right? Not you, the blizzard and the relay.
So guess what? Jesse Owens. We've all heard of Jesse Owens.
Of course.
In
He ran in it.
1935, he set the American broad jump record at the Drake relays.
I mean, I know. I never did track and field, but if you like sports, everybody knows about the Drake relays. They're
Bruce
just,
Jenner competed there. Carl Lewis competed there. Lolo Jones competed there. And many,
Lolo
many,
Jones
many
is
others.
from Iowa, though, isn't she?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, she is. Wow, an enrollment of 6,000, and they have these huge relays there. I wonder why they.
Can Pleasance get to it? She stops it on the infield, but can't do anything with it. And Drake gets a run as Beitzinger scores from third.
And again, learning curve for Chafin. She just breezed through the lineup the first time through. That ball's just not moving. It's on the outside corner, but it has no movement to it.
Batting for Drake.
So Beitzinger strolls in from third. Libby Ryan stopped at second. And Macy Johnson collects the infield hit. And here is Emily Boltman. Now here's a tradition at Drake you would like. The very favorite thing at tradition, as a tradition at Drake, is called hubbling. Hubbling. Do you have any idea what hubbling is?
And why would I?
No reason that I can think of.
I've never heard that word before.
It's a contest where students slide down Hubble Hill on the campus on blue plastic food trays that come from Hubble Hall, one of the dining rooms there.
There you go. How in the world would I know that? But that's a tradition.
You
Just
are
like
a Renaissance person. I
Just
thought you might have heard of that.
Just like throwing the toilet paper in the trees.
Hubbling.
Hubbling, that's kind of cool. And when do they do that?
When
Anytime
it
they
snows
want?
down the hill. I don't know. They take the food trays from Hubble Hall and have some fun.
$44,000 a year. They deserve to take those food trays.
Get over it.
Meanwhile, there's a softball game going on.
Runners at first and second for Boltman. She fouled out to Pleasance last time. The 2-2 pitch. Just off the plate wide. Shelby Wickersham is warming up for the Tigers. One out, runners at first and second, and a run in. A walk and a couple of base hits in the inning have produced the first run of the game for Drake. And there you see Wickersham getting ready in case Chafin falters. Here it comes. Rip foul. Iowa's got this season of the year self-named, and it starts really in a couple of weeks in March. You know, it's the transition between winter and spring, and it can get up to 65, 70 degrees on a couple of days, and the next day it's 25 and snowing. Iowans call that sprinter, as in spring and winter. They call it sprinter.
If you hadn't said snow, we could just call that Louisiana weather, too.
Pretty much.
You know, we wore shorts yesterday. Today we're freezing.
Yesterday, we're frying catfish in the backyard. Today, you're thawing out.
Gumbo.
3-2 pitch, a big one. Jam shot, caught by the second baseman, but no play after the catch. Sidney Peterson able to get to that one.
Once again, Tigers have a variety of great-looking defensive players at third base. No, that wasn't a great defensive play, but all these freshmen that Beth Torina keeps plugging in have done the job at second. Taylor Tidwell, the everyday second baseman from last year, is not playing this year. She's being redshirted with an injury.
Let's hope she comes back with a full recovery and is able to have full preparation for the 2023 season. Emma Richards is batting for the first time. Out of Clive, Iowa. An elementary education major. One run, 2 hits for Drake, 7 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers.
Talk about a Midwest roster on this team. Got one Cali girl for Drake. Everybody else is Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska.
There may be some discussion over here about Richards' appearance, at least in terms of making everybody aware of how the order has been set. And whatever it is, apparently is okay. Of course, Richards came in to pitch last inning. That's hack foul. These dugouts here at Tiger Park are wonderful. Some of the longest dugouts in the country. There's plenty of room and plenty of safety in those dugouts.
Yeah, I think you could stay in there for a hurricane. There's so much concrete involved.
The 0-2 pitch. Just inside. Chafin was jumping up and down in anticipation of the right arm coming up from Mike Thibodeau, but it did not.
Once again, we've had some long innings tonight at the softball field.
That's a little high, maybe tight. The 2-2 pitch, 2 on, 2 out, a run in for Drake. A rip to center field and a diving catch made by Sierra Briggs. Oh my goodness, Briggs with Superman style. Runs to her left, leaves her feet, uses every bit of that height and makes the catch with a belly flop in right center field. Look at this play. Wow, spinnerbait gets it done in center field. That ends the inning. It's 7-1, LSU leading Drake. Sierra Briggs patrolling center field. What a catch, Yvette Girard.
How about this? She might make ESPN highlights again. You know, Beth Torina said 9 years of the Andrews sisters in center field, and they wouldn't miss a beat. She loves her some Briggs.
A.J. Andrews, Aaliyah Andrews, both of them made numerous catches like that, and now Sierra Briggs, the spinnerbait, rushing to her left. She gets such a wonderful read with the ball coming off the bat.
Absolutely. She may not be as fast as the Andrews, although she can move, but her read off of the bat is just incredible. Gives her that edge.
Well, here's Kate Calland, who popped up to second base as we play in the bottom of the third. The Tigers have a 7-1 lead. All of the runs for LSU coming in the second. Stee right The Drake relay started in 1910.
Wow. I wonder how many people are in town for that.
It's world famous, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, Des Moines not a... Drake is in Des Moines, right? Not a small town, but still. It's got to be a small campus.
Skylar Rigby is the new catcher for Drake. There is Skylar Rigby replacing Lara. One run, 2 hits for Drake. 7 runs, 5 hits for LSU. Callan trying to open the gates for the Tigers in the bottom of the 3rd. LSU won the first game, but had to come from behind to do it against Stephen F. Austin. 10-4 the final.
Yeah, they were
But it
down,
was a much tighter game than that in the late innings.
down 4-1. And as we said, the box score wouldn't quite show you how tight that game was for so long.
This is lifted into left field and foul ground, and a good catch by Delaney Taylor as she got there in a hurry.
Ball blew right back in. It was going in the bullpen for a second. Almost blew back into fair territory.
So Callan is 0 for 2, and here is Sidney Peterson. Sidney walked and scored in the 2nd inning. LSU batted around and then some in the 2nd, scoring 7 times. She is first pitch swinging and flicks it foul. LSU baseball in progress at Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field this weekend. Towson and Southern are the opponents for the Tigers. LSU has a 6-0 lead in the top of the 4th inning against Towson.
Where's Towson? It sounds like a bad Cajun trying to say thousand. Not a bad Cajun, a Cajun that, you know, spoke French most of their lives.
Peterson waits. Check swing. And that was ruled a commitment for the strike.
Let's see if she goes. Yes, she goes. She offers. You don't have to do much these days, but I would say that's a good call.
Here's the 1-2. That changeup got hung up on the hip of the pitcher. So you wanted to know where Towson was?
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Ah. Would have never guessed that. That must be a small school also. My phone's going to blow up with everybody giving us this information.
That's okay. Two balls, 2 strikes on the freshman Sidney Peterson, who has impressed with her glove in the run-up to the season and during the season itself over the course of the first 2 weeks. This may get down for a base hit. It does. Peterson rounds first. She's on her way to second. She is safe there with a sliding double. Peterson never hesitated around first base, went pinwheeling around the bag, and slides at second with a 1-out double.
Lindsay Lepwish did the go signal, turn and go the entire time.
That's her first double of the season, her first of her career. And it brings on Danica Coffey, who already has a 2-run single and now has hit safely in 11 consecutive games. Coffey with the longest hitting streak for the Tigers. Two and 0. Briggs is on deck. Coffey tried to beat that one into the ground and missed it.
Worked the last time. That's what slappers can do. They, as you said, beat the ball into the ground, punch it through the infielders. Anywhere they can find a hole or give them some time to leg it out to first.
LSU 7-1 over Drake. There's that changeup, that little odd delivery change, but it stays upstairs.
And she's trying to flip it, which may be one of the hardest changeups to throw.
You really got to roll that wrist, kind of throw it backhand, if you will.
Lead with your thumb.
Does that ball actually come out of the side of the hand?
Yeah.
Coffey draws a base on balls. She's been aboard twice. And here is Briggs, who has an infield hit and a walk. And now Briggs has been on base in every game. Not necessarily by base hit, but she has reached in every game this year.
Briggs has truly been the most consistent player for the Tigers, and
she doesn't need a GPS to find her way to first base.
It's ingrained.
Runners at first and second with one out. One ball, one strike on sophomore outfielder Sierra Briggs, who turned in a whale of a play defensively in the top of the inning. LSU is due for 2 more games tomorrow. Scheduled start time for the first one is 3 o'clock. Purdue will be the opponent, and then Drake again tomorrow night. So Purdue and Drake are next on the docket tomorrow for LSU.
I believe Purdue split today.
Here's a chop, and it's on into left field.
Look at Briggs. She's going to score on that shallow base hit. Once again, never stopped.
So the Tigers pick up another run. Taylor Pleasant's coming to the plate, but Briggs now with a couple of base hits. He runs up on it, chops it over the third baseman's head. Peterson scores.
Sorry, that's Peterson.
And LSU is up 8-1. Here's Pleasance with Briggs at second as she advanced on the throw to the plate, and Coffey at third. Tigers had 11 base hits in the first game. That's the most they've had in any game this year. They've got 7 through 3 innings against Drake in the nightcap.
Peterson showing some speed there that I didn't know she had. And that left fielder got that ball shallow.
Pleasance, after a home run and a triple in the first game, has lined to center field, walked in the second game. A run will score, and the throw from the third baseman bounces past first. It rolls down into the right field corner. Another run scores, and the Tigers have 3 in the inning and lead it 10-1. Pleasance was completely baffled by that pitch, but she puts it in play.
That's why they say just put the ball in play. You gotta field it, throw it, catch it. Didn't
That'll be
quite
an error
happen.
on the third baseman. The Tigers now with a 10-1 lead. Clark pops it up, grabbed by the second baseman. The throw back to first is close, but not in time.
Yeah, Pleasance kind of lollygagged back to first and almost got picked off.
Coming back to the Tigers. Number 20, Jordan Perkins.
Well, now Perkins will bat for the second time. She walked last inning. Ball 1 from Emma Richards. Mackenzie Hubke started, and she had all kinds of control problems in the second inning. This is only the 7th game of the year for Drake. It's been behind some of the other schools in terms of early season schedule.
Probably have to stay on the road a
Sure,
while.
and then obviously the weather is a huge factor.
They do have 7 pitchers listed on their roster.
There's that little flip change. The runner is moving for the stolen base. Taylor Pleasance able to read that pitch, perhaps. She moves up easily. Drake and LSU have never played in softball.
First time. I was shocked at that stat when I read it. It seems like all these years you just about have played everybody.
A changeup delivered on the 3-2 pitch, and it's whacked foul.
Starting to come over for a strike now.
That's gobbled up by Richards, and the inning is over. LSU adds 3 in the third to the 7 they scored in the second, and we move to the 4th inning in Baton Rouge. Tigers 10, Drake 1. There's an over-the-shoulder shot, so to speak, from Tiger Park, looking across the way to Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field, where there's baseball going on tonight. LSU leading Towson 6-0 in the middle innings. And there will be baseball throughout the weekend. Here we've got LSU leading Drake 10-1. As we play in the fourth, and Chafin returns to the circle for the Tigers.
Wall-to-wall Diamond Sports all weekend.
Oh, yeah. Carrington Hushmanzada is in the game in left field now, replacing Newland for the Tigers. So Carrington Hushmanzada. Hushmanzada replaces Newland. Delaney Taylor, who struck out in the second inning, comes to the plate against Chafin for the second time. Hushmanzada might be the longest last name in college softball. It's 14 letters.
Yeah, we had a Delahousie before. Let me spell that out.
The 0-1 pitch. Got a piece of the lower part of the leg. The back foot of Delaney Taylor was hit by this pitch.
Yikes. Oh.
Right off the inside of the ankle.
Yowzer.
Well, that's the third time in 4 innings that the Bulldogs have had a leadoff batter aboard. Heidi Wheeler is going to pinch run.
Look at her walk. Her ankle kind of gives away.
So Wheeler is the pinch runner for Taylor, who's been hit by a pitch. And Paige Bedsworth will come to the plate now after fouling out to the first baseman in the second inning. LSU working with a 9-run lead as we play in the fourth.
Oh, my goodness.
Two in a row plunked by Chafin.
Same pitch. We might not want to call the third one. Yikes.
Right off the back inside part of the upper ankle, it appeared. So 2 in a row put aboard as Chafin plunks a pair. Here's Michaela Rice. Rice struck out in the second. Ball 1.
And that's exactly what Beth Tarina did. Let's try the other corner.
The outfield is shaded to the opposite side for Rice. Rice with a late cut.
It is.
Here's the 1-1.
Great looking changeup.
That pitch was disguised from the get-go.
And it just fell off the table. The last one was at 66 miles an hour, and then that drop on that pitch. Just trying to throw a drop ball there. Of course, if you pitch for Beth Serena, you're going to get a drop ball eventually. She of the drop ball fame. All SEC performer at Florida.
The 2-2 pitch to Rice. Knocked into right field. That's down for a base hit. Runner rounds third. Here's the throw. Out at first base at the plate. A terrific throw from the right fielder right into the glove of Kate Calland, who applied the tag, and the Tigers cut down Wheeler, who tried to score from second base.
Great throw, great tag, but I think the runner slid too soon.
Watch Rudity gobble this one up and right.
Watch this.
This is Wheeler coming around third and thrown out at the plate.
Nevertheless, great play by the defense.
We'll go back at some point and see if we can capture that play, but nicely done by the Tigers on a good throw by Rudity. So LSU saves a run there. The runners wind up at second and third. Rice with some gravy off her bat. Here's Beitzinger. Ground ball left side. Runners have to hold. Taylor Pleasance comes up with a strong throw. The runners remain at second and third, and there are 2 outs. Kristen Arias will bat.
Pitch hitter number 7, Kristen Arias.
Kristen is a junior catcher. We'll show that throw from right fielder Rudity to the plate as we go to the break between innings. So don't go to the kitchen just yet. There's a quick strike.
Let's see if I think I saw that right. Seemed like it took the runner forever to get to the plate. And I don't mean running around the bases.
The 0-1. Chafin on most pitches exhales loudly at the delivery.
And like I said before, she wants to do the same routine on every pitch. Doesn't want to tip anything.
Two balls and a strike, 2 outs, 2 in scoring position. Three and 1. The Tigers won the first game against Stephen F. Austin, the new Western Athletic Conference member. That was a 10-4 game, but LSU trailed by as much as 4-1 early and finally got the lead in the 5th inning.
No doubt about that strike right there.
Raylene Chafin trying to make her mark in the circle as a freshman. The 3-2 pitch. Spoiled into the net.
Make the freshman work a little bit harder to get that out.
And Yvette, you and I have had some fun with this statistic over the years, but there's a very high probability of a foul ball on a 3-2 pitch. That's ripped on one hop on the infield. Pleasance throws to the plate, safe there. Well, here comes Drake now as they try to cut into a big lead. That's a base hit. Pleasance did well to get to it, but couldn't stop it cleanly behind second, and by the time she was able to get to the ball and make the play at the plate, 2 runs had scored.
Too good a pitch there, but fell behind, and thought Pleasance was going to make that even a little closer, but Drake has not given up.
Back to the top of the order as Lehman drives in a pair.
That's doing your job off the bench. Get a 2-run RBI.
Here's Libby Ryan at the top of the order. Ryan has walked and singled. She's a good player. She'll close that wide stance as the ball is delivered.
But she doesn't truly close it. It still stays open pretty wide.
Out to Briggs in center field, and she's got it. Yvette, let's look at this assist from right field by Rudity. She comes up throwing.
Good strong throw by Rudity.
Wheeler coming to the plate and out there, and that saved a run. Drake went on to get a couple more after that, but the Tigers hold a 10-3 lead going to the bottom of the 4th. 10 runs, 7 hits, no bobbles for the Tigers. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Drake. Drake scoring a run in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. Tigers got 7 in the 2nd and 3 in the 3rd. And we've got a new pitcher for the Bulldogs. Paige Bedsworth is in the circle right now.
I was telling you that Drake has 7 pitchers on their roster. We should see it. And here's another freshman. We should see Screw, change, and rise from her.
Here's another health sciences nursing major out of Fulton, Missouri. Bedsworth with no record, a high ERA in just 3 innings of work, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. The lead is 7 for the Tigers. And we've got some sort of delay here. Meanwhile, there are a bundle of changes defensively for Drake. Let's start with Addie Leiter, who wears number 2. She's now at first base. Beitzinger has moved from right field to left field. And let's see, the new right fielder is Voltman, who was playing first base. So Voltman is the right fielder. Beitzinger moves to left, replacing Taylor, who appeared to be hurt after she was hit in the lower leg by a pitch. And the new first baseman, or rather the new right fielder, is, well, Voltman is in right. That's up into the net, out of play. Carrington Hushmanzada making her first at bat.
She certainly had her fooled on that pitch, but Blue didn't like it, and now the count is full.
LSU is looking for runs in its third consecutive inning. Paige Bedsworth delivers. Swing and a miss. Hushmanzada on a 3-2 pitch, can't find it. And here is Mackenzie Ridate.
Right fielder, number 4, Mackenzie
Ridate is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt, and she rolled out to the first baseman last time. LSU got 7 in the second. It yielded 1 in the third. It got 3 of its own in the bottom of the third to make it 10-1. But Drake countered with 2 in the top of this inning. We play in the fourth. LSU leading 10-3.
That's a 50-mile-an-hour screwball, so Tigers have to be patient, try to drive the ball to the opposite field. A lot slower than what they've seen.
Libby Ryan goes back tumbling but holds on. That was pretty acrobatic.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
That's not a bad floor routine out there.
I was about to say she can compete on gymnastics Friday nights.
At bat for the Tigers, catcher, number 47, Kate Callahan.
Saw what the wind did to that fly ball. And she's limping a little bit.
Here's Kate Calland. She drives this to right. It's down in front of Voltman, the new right fielder. And Sydney Peterson will come on now.
Heading to the plate. On the Tigers, second cycle, number 1.
Calland is 1 for 3. Peterson has walked and scored and doubled and scored. Two outs with Calland at first. Two and 0. Purdue is first on the docket tomorrow for LSU. It's a game that's scheduled to start at 3. And then Drake will be the nightcap opponent. Purdue and Drake tomorrow. The LSU opponents, runner on the move, and that was a bit of a delayed steal, and Calland able to make it.
And Laura was kind of trying to frame that pitch a little bit too long. See here, sticking it, and there goes the runner.
Rigby had to throw from her knees. And there is ball 4. Well, Peterson at the bottom of the order has been on base 3 times. A couple of walks and a double, and 2 runs scored.
Leadoff hitter. Playing third base, number 13, Danica Coffey.
Danica Coffey now at the plate. There's a strike. Some of the Tigers, and Coffey is one, have gotten a little bit of extra layer
It's
to
allowed.
try to defend against the cold.
And that's allowed in softball. Hide the numbers. It's cold though.
That ball is in the dirt, and everybody advances. So that's a wild pitch. So some of the Tigers wearing that windbreaker to add some warmth. Coffey's had 4 hits during the doubleheader. She's got a 2-run single tonight, along with a walk and a ground out. A liner to left, and it is caught on an awkward recovery by Beitzinger, the new left fielder. Nicely done by Beitzinger to hang on. The Tigers leave runners in scoring position, but they carry a 10-3 lead into the 5th inning on the SEC ESPN network. Ten to 3, LSU leading Drake. It's the first time these teams ever have played in softball. LSU has out-hit the Bulldogs 8-4. We are about to get started in the top of the 5th. And the youngster Raylene Chafin will go out to work her 5th inning. The wind continues to blow out toward right center field. But we have not had a home run in this second game. Taylor Pleasance had one in the first game for the Tigers. Ball 1 to Macy Johnson, who is 1 for 2. She had an RBI single on the infield last time.
Work ahead, stay ahead, don't lose your head. 1-0 counts, too many.
Now 2-0. Where's that data you were showing me on the value of first pitch strikes? Here it is. And this is incredible when you think about it. .7% of first pitch strikes lead to an out. Less than 8% of first pitch strikes become hits. That's pretty overwhelming, isn't it?
That's why the pitching coaches have been preaching work ahead since the dawn of time. But it is in some incredible statistics.
69% of the strikeouts start with first pitch strikes. There's a rip the other way for Johnson. She rounds first, but will put on the brakes and return. That's the second hit for Johnson.
One more for the stats since she worked behind on that.
70% of walks, 70% of walks start with first pitch balls. That kind of cuts to the chase in a hurry, doesn't it?
Some eye-opening numbers there.
Emily Valtman is 0 for 2. She has fouled out to Pleasance and popped up to Peterson. Gallen May have been crossed up, but nonetheless could not field it, and that'll be a pass ball, allowing the runner to move up. Three runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for Drake. 10 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Tigers. Never before have Drake and LSU played in softball. Here we go at 2-1. Smash deep to left field, and this is off the glove of the left fielder, Houshmandzadeh. And a run scores. Houshmandzadeh laid out, but just couldn't quite get it.
Great effort, though.
And it's a double off the glove of the layout attempt by Houshmandzadeh.
I thought she had it, but gosh, that was but it looked like a gapper from the get-go. Houshmandzadeh almost comes up with this play.
It's a great shot from our center field camera.
Kind of hits her glove.
And we will have a pitching change, it appears, for the Tigers. Shelby Wickersham is coming out of the bullpen. So Wickersham will be the new pitcher. We will step aside for a moment. LSU leads Drake 10-4 in the 5th inning. Tall right-hander Shelby Wickersham has come out of the LSU bullpen. 4 appearances this year. 0-3 record with an ERA of 3.68, 13-plus innings, 14 strikeouts, 7 walks. Wickersham in relief of Raylene Chafin.
See that she throws in the mid-60s? No question, drop ball is her go-to pitch. She'll throw that change off of her curveball. She's already graduated from LSU. She is interning in a psych ward right now. Players say that they wait for her to come to practice because she has very interesting stories.
So here's a question for you. As a softball lover and a proponent of the game in all sorts of environments, baseball in college a couple of years ago allowed sending and receiving devices. In other words, there could be a pitching coach, for example, talking to the catcher through an earpiece that the catcher is wearing. That not yet has been allowed in softball. Is that something you think is coming?
I hope not. I can't stand the coaches calling every pitch. But big money involved, so if you're going to be responsible, you're going to take the bull by the horns. But I miss the days where you taught the catcher how to call the game. But that's no longer, that's moot. They're growing up and everybody's on the bucket thinking for them.
So here's something else in baseball as that pitch skips in, and I think that'll be a wild pitch. It is. In baseball, too, every position player defensively, except the pitcher, can wear, let's say, a smartwatch and receive instructions from the bench in that manner. In other words, to position the outfielders or whatever. Now, there's no transmission allowed during the play, but, you know, you can text a message, so to speak, and pick it up on a smartwatch or some other device.
Nuts. That's what my answer to that is.
I like it. Succinct.
Purist. I'm a purist.
Richards goes down on strikes, and Wickersham could use that.
Give me that kid that's been on the playground or throwing that ball against the wall, you know, to herself. for hours on end instead of paying $500 to teach me how to play defense and swing a bat. They can't think for themselves. Just be an athlete and play.
Leitner is coming to the plate for the first time.
Play and play as many sports as you can. This nonsense about being a one-sport athlete. You got me on a roll now, Lynn Rollins.
Well, that's okay. I'm very much interested in your opinion. I'm not crazy about all the electronics in the game either.
You know, how cool is that to play in high school and maybe win a state championship and have your name up on the...
The throw to the plate from the third baseman in time for the out.
Good job by Perkins.
Perkins threw it right into the glove of Calland. And Voltman is erased at the plate.
Bad base running mistake by Drake when you're down by 6 runs. Got to read that. Of course, she's...
And out by at least 2 strides.
She takes her lead, and then she's halfway down there.
So Leitner reaches on the fielder's choice, and here is Bedsworth.
But going back to that, not letting kids play everything. I mean, you get to represent your high school. It's a special time in your life. What if you win something and you have your name up there? And it's not just to win something, but how cool if you do, and you can go back to your high school and always see that name and take your children there. And I just think it's all so special, and it's, you know, all about trying to get that scholarship, which...
You know what's still special too, and if you, during football season, for example, and I'm just using another sport, if you're driving through a small town just about anywhere in America on a Friday night, and I'm talking about tiny towns, and there may be inadequate lighting, but you pull up to the ballpark, there's 2 small town football teams doing battle. There's moms in the concession stand. They are making homemade hamburgers. They have brought pies and cakes and things that they have made homemade, selling them in the concession stand to support the school, maybe the band, who knows. But there's something special about small town America sports, whether it be on a Friday night or whatever the occasion is. Still. Correct, still. People who still stand and sing the national anthem. Special, 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 special.
It's what made this great game great, the national pastime.
And it matters not the sport, it's the atmosphere.
Exactly.
It's the self-respect. It's the relationships between 2 small-town fan bases. And it's playing with what we would consider substandard equipment, but it doesn't matter. What's important matters. And that's just what I've talked about, the sportsmanship, the camaraderie.
All the things that are positive about athletics and sports.
And the relationships through the generations.
And Wickersham.
Granddad played here.
Wickersham comes in and does her job.
That ball dropped as it got to the plate. 10-4 LSU. Welcome back, everyone. 10-4 LSU leading. And you see Drake's Delaney Taylor. She was hit by a pitch down low around the ankle earlier. She is actually leaving the field on crutches after having been attended by the medical staffs here. And obviously favoring that right leg. She's unable to put any weight on it, so she is moving away. And Delaney Taylor obviously done for the night. Let's hope that she recovers quickly.
Yeah, that's LSU's trainer, Pam. But I watched when she walked off the field. Her foot kept collapsing.
Briggs at the plate. She's had a couple of hits, and she's walked, and she's driven in one, and she has stolen a base, and she has scored once. Paige Bedsworth levels the count at 1. We are in the bottom of the 5th. LSU, which won the first game by a 10-4 count, leads this one. This is going to be a difficult play, safe at first base.
And this is what I'm talking about with Briggs. She just handles the bat. Drive it in the gap, drag a bunt, slap it past infielders, or hit it over the fence.
That's her 3rd hit of the game. She's 3 for 3.
Lots to like about the new center fielder out there.
She's already turned in a spectacular catch tonight in center field. One of those leave your feet, lay out as best you can, do a belly flop on the turf and make the catch. That belly landing can be a bit painful, and that jar comes up and will shake that glove, but she held on. Pleasance, after a triple and a homer in the first game, has lined to center, walked and reached on an error in the second game, and this is caught in foul ground. A nice play by Rice.
How about that heads-up base running?
Briggs tags and moves to second.
You have to be fleet of foot to do what she just did, though.
You've also got to be confident.
Because this is a nice, strong throw, though she did fall asleep for a second. Kind of forgot about the base runner.
Briggs is one of those players who applies pressure in a lot of ways to the opposition.
She just Charlie Hustle out there. Everything she does is full out.
Georgia Clark has driven in a lot of runs today with a 3-run double. That bounces in. It's corralled by Rigby.
I think we can hear Georgia saying no. You know, in her brain, she's saying yes, 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 no, when she recognizes that she's not going to swing. She didn't do it that time.
Rigby had to leave her feet to save that. So one in the dirt and then one above her head, but she corralled both of them. Paige Bedsworth is the 3rd pitcher for Drake. Mackenzie Hupke started. This goes way up and way out. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. Georgia Clark drives in her 4th and 5th runs of this game with a towering drive over the center field wall.
She pileed that ball. You knew that ball was gone the minute she took that swing.
And that gives LSU an 8-run lead. This game is over. Georgia Clark smashing it high into the night. That is home run number 4 for Georgia Clark. 5 runs driven in tonight for Clark. And Georgia Clark sends everybody home on that towering drive over the center field wall.
Got the Mardi Gras chain, or the home run chain, I guess they call it, on, and she got every piece of that ball.
Final line score, 12 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Tigers. 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Drake. So LSU wins twice. The first game over Stephen F. Austin, the second game against Drake. Don't forget, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, it's Purdue and LSU, followed by Drake and LSU. 2 coming your way tomorrow on the SEC ESPN Network. Again, the final score from Baton Rouge, 12-4. LSU beats Drake. For Yvette Girard, I'm Len Rollins. Good night, everybody, from the ballpark.